The Mapogo is a terrifying name for a lion coalition that gathered an elite of killers and an elite of inspirers of courage and strength, a unique war machine where determination and persistence for a legendary alliance that history pages cannot erase, an alliance whose fame spread across Africa, an era of destructive lions which we return today to remember the last and pivotal days and moments in the history of its strongest lions, the tremendous lion Kinky Tail, who carried the title Shaka, which means strength, and which refers to the strongest leaders of the dominant and killer Zulu tribe in the last century. It was the beginning of the end, those difficult days that would finally come upon this alliance, especially after the alliance split, when Mr. T the Devil walked with his brother and his shadow Kinky Tail, who never left him at any moment of his life moments. The brothers walked together with the passion of steadfastness and challenge, with a strength that cannot be confronted, with their roar that makes the bodies shudder. No one dared to approach them, where they were crossing their control areas and making their way at a steady pace towards the east, heading directly towards the northeastern edge of the Nkorho area, as they moved in a winding manner inside and outside Nkorho towards a farm called Torchwood, to later head in the direction of the south, going back and forth between the farm and Kruger National Park. The dominant brothers later returned to Nkorho in the southwest direction, where the solidity of their bodies and their terrifying strength that is unbelievable appeared. But the blooming days of two lions who love competition must reach their peak, especially since age was advancing them, and the other young lions began to launch and search for competitors for them to prove their existence and danger and try their luck in a bloody meeting with some other lions. Perhaps they come out victorious and announce a new era for lions that may rule the plains and forests for many long years to come. Some of those young lions had already penetrated through the eastern regions of the Sabi Sand Reserve, which is ruled by these two brothers, and which were called Majingilane lions. They were 5 young lions, full of vitality and activity, but bad luck led Hipscar, one of the members of this alliance, alone exploring the place. He did not know that there is death lurking for him across the plains, where Kinky Tail the Terrifying and the Devil Mr. T pounced on him at that time and tore him up and ate him literally. The shock was huge for the young alliance after they lost their little brother, so there had to be revenge, and the most severe types of pain and torment, for that lion who dared to kill their brother. So in that dark night, the Majingalanes returned with a wild desire for revenge, with eyes burning with anger. They want the Kinky Tail Alliance to pay a heavy price, and in the worst form. The time was in the evening in late May 2010, somewhere in the plains of Londolozi, when the 4 angry brothers crossed with their tremendous roar, and at the same time the 2 brothers exchanged the roar in a sign of challenge. At first glance we can believe that Kinky Tail was able to expel the 4 brothers eager to fight, especially after he chased 2 of them out of the area, but he did not know then that this strong lion was actually his end. The Majingalanes dragged him into the trap and were able to separate him and keep him away from Mr. T, to remain alone with no power or strength, although he attacked with all ferocity and tried to repel their violent attack and actually injured some of them with many wounds. But the majority overcomes courage. The brothers were able to overthrow him and weaken him and cause him severe injuries, even after the arrival of Mr. T, who tried to intervene brutally and attacked 2 of the Majingilans and chased them, but they were able to repel his attack and chase him and try to kill him, to flee in the end from the place, leaving his brother Kinky Tail between the claws and claws of those lions hungry for revenge, who continued to resist until his last moments. Words cannot describe the precise brutality of this violent fight, but what can be said is that through the sound of breaking bones in his body, especially in his legs and spine and face, it can be said that they literally tore him up with the size of the anger inside them and the bad, brutal revenge for their brother. The fight ended, and the night ended with the arrival of the next day's morning, where all that remained of the dead lion was the ground stained with blood, and the torn remains of the wonderful Kinky Tail's mane, which many will miss, and his memory will live among all the guards of Sabi Sand and tourists around the world and the coming wanderers who love this strong lion model of destructive fighting. But this is nature that must take its course. In a society of monsters that cannot predict the strength of its competitors,